the fight for the National Guard will be right there.
In the dedication of this armory, the California National Guard pays honor to the young men of America. It is their integrity, initiative, and spirit of adventure that keeps alive the precepts of our democracy set forth by our founding fathers. It is they who chart the course for present and future leaders of our great republic, the United States of America. Joining these young men in their demands for a more secure nation are the American war mothers, mothers whose sacrifices have shown the need to keep America strong. Today, more than ever before, the National Guard plays a vital part in America's security. Local armories like this one being dedicated furnish the opportunity for training the young citizen while living at home and following his normal pursuits. Here's a group of guardsmen attached to an anti-aircraft artillery brigade. They receive last-minute instructions, then off to summer training camp. Their destination, Camp Irwin, located 37 miles from Barstow, California. This training site spreads over an area of 750,000 acres and is said to be the largest firing range in the world. Situated on the edge of the Mojave Desert at 2,300 feet above sea level, Camp Irwin receives less than 2 inches of rainfall per year. During the early days of World War II, the camp was known officially as MAR, Mojave Anti-Aircraft Artillery Range. In 1942, it was renamed Camp Irwin in honor of Major General George Leroy Irwin, World War I artillery commander. Camp Irwin is ideal for anti-aircraft artillery training. The clear, dry air affords excellent visibility, and the lack of rainy days permits uninterrupted training operations. To the artilleryman, there's nothing like firing his weapon. Through the sweat and toil of getting the gun into position or cleaning the smooth bore of a 90, he looks forward eagerly to sending that shell on the way. The preparation of a gun battery for action is a step-by-step procedure. Guns, radar, and director's equipment work in harmony during the firing and must be prepared for action in an orderly sequence. Our modern weapons, marvelous as they are, still require alert and highly trained personnel to keep them in operation. This Ordnance Field Shop unit is equipped to repair or rebuild anything from a Jeep to a 90-millimeter gun. Under the Guard training program, most of the men are trained as specialists. The men who receive their training are preparing themselves for better-paying jobs in civilian life. But Camp Irwin is not all work and routine. During their leisure time, the men of the Guard are encouraged to take part in sports activities. These sports are not only fun, they keep the Guardsmen physically fit, strengthens teamwork and leadership qualities. Playing together as a team, they help each other achieve a common goal, thus developing a helping hand attitude. It is this fundamental concept, in keeping with our democracy, that makes them the best trained soldiers on earth. As a change from teamwork activities, there's the swimming pool. Here the citizen soldier can relax, doze in the sun, or cool off with a swim on his off-duty hours. From a lofty post, a lifeguard watches as the camp personnel enjoy this relaxing sport. Looks like this guardsman is in for a ducking, but he won't go in all alone. From refrigerated lockers come fresh meat and vegetables of choice quality, the basis of the Guardsman's diet. The Guard training plan includes instruction in the logistics of food supply. The details of supplying and serving an army with food is an important and basic branch of military science and is one of the many special subjects a citizen soldier can learn at Camp Irwin. Food is drawn from Army ration directly from warehouse facilities located at the camp. Groceries are issued from the warehouse in much the same manner as your local market would fill a grocery order, but without an actual outlay of cash. Carefully selected menus ensure a balanced diet for the Guardsman's mess. Doesn't have to be attractive, but it must be good to eat. The mess officer's first command is, don't forget the menu served. Many of these Guardsmen cooks are fine chefs in civilian life. And if you think there's no cooking like Mother's, you should taste the excellent cuisine turned out by the Guard's mess personnel. Food service schools are conducted for those who want to specialize in the culinary arts. They get plenty of practice. In the course of 15 days, these guardsmen will consume some 200 sides of beef, a ton of potatoes, and 1,000 loaves of bread. Arriving to observe training is Major General Earl M. Jones, California's Adjutant General. He is met by the commander of Camp Irwin's Armored Combat Training Center, Brigadier General John C. MacDonald, and Brigadier General George W. Fisher, commander of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Artillery. Packing a parachute into the hatch, these guardsmen are preparing a target plane for a firing mission. The plane, an OQ-19 ARCAT, is utilized for anti-aircraft gunnery practice. It is an overall length of more than 10 feet and weighs 293 pounds loaded. Its four-cylinder engine is air-cooled, cranked by means of a battery-driven starter pressed into the nose of the propeller hub. Plane takes off, supported by a dolly, until it reaches airspeed. Flying at 200 yards, it simulates a pursuit plane of normal size at a distance of 500 yards. The target plane is controlled from the ground by radio. With the target in the air, a fire mission order is given, and the men scramble for their guns. This is what they've been waiting for. Will they hit the target? General Jones and General Fisher observe the training exercise. Brigadier General May, the Adjutant General of Nevada, is also an observer. There's a hit. When a target plane is hit, the slide ring opens the parachute, allowing the plane to float to the ground. This minimizes damage to the target plane. It's recovered and prepared for further use. Meanwhile, preparations are underway for a firing mission at the 90mm gunnery range. Sweeping the sky, radar tracks the target, which is being towed behind a B-26 bomber. The meteorologist sends up his weather balloon to determine atmospheric conditions aloft for firing data. His assistant records in code the information for the battery commander. A fire mission begins with the tracking of the target, picked up by the parabola mounted on the radar trailer. The men inside are PPI operators. They're checking azimuth and elevation of the target as it moves into range on the oscilloscope. When correct collaborations and ballistics are determined, the information is set into the director for computing. The director is the means of fire control and can fire one gun or all guns in the battery in accordance with the fire mission. If a target is visible, the tracker supplies direction. Otherwise, both direction and azimuth and elevation are supplied by the radar. Electronic training in radar operation is highly desirable because of its similarity to television. The skill thus achieved can be put to use in civilian fields. Enlisted and officer personnel are required to meet the same physical and professional standards required for the Army. In the Guard, a young man may continue his schooling or professional training while learning a military specialty. Many men in the Guard are veterans who wish to keep their military training current and pass their combat knowledge on to new members. Now the target comes into range. Fire order is passed on to the batteries. Volleys, a quadrant is used to check gun elevation. Completion of a firing mission, the results are carefully tabulated and individual batteries are graded. As soon as the target is dropped from the plane, the men enthusiastically examine the sleeve for hits. And of course, there's always that good-natured wisecracking between competing batteries. Yes, the men of the National Guard gain valuable knowledge and experience working together, playing together, and they get paid for it. This Guard private receives $173.25 for his 15 days at summer camp and 48 days of armory training. His pay is equivalent to 1/6 the annual pay of the regular Army private. If he's a master sergeant, he receives a total of $416.64 plus longevity or fogey pay in keeping with his length of service. Guardsmen also are eligible for retirement pay. Retirement pay could be as much as 75% of regular Army pay for the grade he holds at retirement. And it's all in good, solid American cash, as this typical Guardsman will attest. The Guardsman will return to his civilian life more fit in body and mind to do his own job. He is secure in the knowledge that his training will help keep America strong. Proud to be part of an organization that has its origin in the very roots of our democracy, dating back to the time of Bunker Hill and fathered by George Washington. They were Guardsmen too. Let us keep our guard up.